He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
Well, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Cajun Conservative, where I talk about life, I talk about liberty, and yes, I'm going to talk about the pursuit of happiness. And I'm showing the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. Got a little tongue tie right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all right. I'm excited for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I am spreading some good news, and it depends what side you are on with this issue. It could be good news, it could be bad news, but we're going to break down some Supreme Court decisions this week, and one of them, well, both of them are very significant in our republic, and it helps. Let's just say it like this: the court this week went ahead and defended freedom and our democracy very well. The left will tell you no, but as me being part of the right, we're gonna go ahead and figure it out. But anyway, before we start, I want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone that's listening to the podcast. If this is your first time, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell on YouTube, hit the Rumble button on Rumble, and hit the subscribe button on your favorite platform. That's Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon Music. We are no longer on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Our page is still up, but I don't know if I don't even know if I announced it. But Facebook podcast really went into the tank, and because of that, they just canceled it. So we have to go ahead and but we got Amazon Music, which is good as well. Amazon is a big company, and Amazon Music is just like any other platform. So go ahead and check it out if you are on Amazon Music, or if you know somebody that said, hey, we don't like Spotify, we don't like Apple, whatever, we're gonna go to Amazon Music. Hey, tell them, go check out the Cajun Conservative. So all right, guys, as I go ahead and talk, we look, I'm gonna be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of weeks ago, I went ahead and made a statement. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am glad I'm wrong with the statement that I made a few months ago. When we were talking about abortion, and you know my heart, I can't stand abortion. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about the people that have had abortions, because sometimes the women that have abortions are misled, or they think they don't have no other alternative. What really makes me mad about abortion is the left. People that say they care for the woman and that they care for people go ahead and just, I don't know. It upsets me when they have people like Nancy Pelosi and Backwards Joe and all the left, all the people on the left, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, praising abortion and pushing to keep it legal. And I made a statement a few months ago where I said Roe versus Wade would never get tossed out. The reason I said that was, and I'm bringing back some history, the reason I said that, it was because I didn't think the Supreme Court, though it was right to overturn it, probably would, because of a lot of political backlash. We had Justice Roberts also said, look, I don't think we should get rid of Roe. I think we should go ahead and move it back. You just had a lot of things. Well, a month ago, we had a political article where it said the results of Dobbs versus Jackson would be that the Supreme Court would overturn Roe versus Wade. Since that time, we have had people protesting. We've had people inciting violence. And when I say people, I'm talking about people on the left. We have had a man allegedly try to go ahead and kidnap and murder a Supreme Court justice. And all this was to sway the court, ladies and gentlemen. It was to sway the court to go ahead and not overturn Roe versus Wade. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and you know, if you've listened over the past week, because this happened after the Thursday episode, the midweek episode. It was done, and remember this date, ladies and gentlemen, Friday. Let me just make sure that we have the date correct. Yes, it was Friday, the 24th of June of 2022. I had to look at my numbers. I lost my place of thought for a second. That the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and landmark abortion decision. Now, we knew this for a month that it possibly was coming, but because of the uprisings of the left, we was hoping it would stick. The Supreme Court waited to almost to the very end of their term. And we also have another decision we're going to talk about. But Roe versus Wade is going to hold up a lot of this episode, ladies and gentlemen, because what I have to say on the issue. But the Supreme Court on Friday overturned Roe versus Wade, effectively ending recognition of a constitutional right to abortion, giving the individual states the power to allow, limit, or ban the practice altogether. The ruling comes in a court opinion in Dowds versus V. Jackson, women's health organization, which centered on a Mississippi law that banned abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy. The Republican-led state of Mississippi asks the Supreme Court to strike down a lower court ruling that stopped the 15-week abortion ban from taking place. We end the opinion where we begin. Abortion presents a profound moral question. The Constitution does not prohibit the citizens of each state from regulating or prohibiting abortion. Roe and Casey argue that authority arranged that authority. We now overrule these decisions and return to the authority to the people of their elected representatives, Justice Samuel Alito wrote in the court's opinion. So, ladies and gentlemen, Roe versus Wade is gone. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was happy to see this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, 50 years, close to 63 million babies in this country alone have lost their lives. You can make the arguments of, oh, what about rape and incest? Which is only maybe, I think, at my last debate I had, and I looked at the numbers, was sitting at maybe 5%. I'm gonna give me some space right there. I want to say 1 to 2%, but I'm gonna say 5 just to be safe. It's not more than 5 of percent of abortions that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the nation, I believe, this, as my brother Benjamin Pena from Brothers Just Searching said just a few minutes ago, this could spare this nation or give this nation some grace. Because the Bible is clear that God hates the hands that shed innocent blood. Now, that could be murder, that could be abortion, anything. God hates the hands that shed innocent blood. And this nation right here, under the hands of our leadership, have been shedding blood for the last 50 years. It has been proven time and time again through ultrasounds and through things of science that it's not a fetus, as they would say in 1973 when Roe v. Wade was presented to the Supreme Court. Also, this is not a victory for pro-life groups. This is a victory for our country, ladies and gentlemen, because I have said this all along, that this country right here, the Constitution of the United States, never, ever gave permission for a woman to have an abortion. Oh, my body, my choice. They talked about privacy in the Constitution. Yeah, you got privacy. But ladies and gentlemen, the founding fathers never, ever in their wildest dream thought that a mother would go ahead and want to take the life and that a doctor would perform such a surgery. It was never in the Constitution of the United States. Never. Of course, this brought rage to the left. This comes from Friday at the White House. President Joe Biden Friday called the Supreme Court decision that overturned Roe v. Wade a sad day for the court and for the country, and calls on Congress to restore abortion right protections. Now with Roe gone, let's be clear: the health and life of women of this nation are now at risk, he stated, speaking from the White House. He called it a tragic era by the Supreme Court, in my view. That is the president backwards, Joe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to break down President Biden's statements a little bit right here. The health and the life of women of this nation are now at risk. What risk? Oh, what if there's complications? What, ladies and gentlemen, my wife had 3 beautiful children. We have had 3 beautiful children. And some way or another, there was a complication. Not bad, not life-threatening. Thank the Lord, it wasn't that bad. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife had a C-section and my wife had 2 natural births. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a procedure. Look, the simplest procedure that you can have in a hospital, there's risk. Now, I want to bring this point out, ladies and gentlemen. See, the Democrats, and especially Joe Biden, has not looked at the child. Oh, the woman. Now, don't get me wrong. We need to look at the women and make sure the women are protected, and make sure that women, when they go through a procedure like birth, should go ahead. I'm not going to say, like the left wants me to, a birthing person. A woman has a baby. A man cannot have a baby. I'm sorry. You can talk to me blue in the face. A man cannot have a baby. But ladies and gentlemen, the women, the health and the life of a woman of this nation are at risk. How is a woman at risk for having a child unless she has complications? The White House has quietly preparing for this moment for months. It began with the Supreme Court took Dowds versus Jackson's Women's Health Organization case and accelerated dramatically with the early May leak of the draft opinion that signaled the court was ready to overturn Roe. Aides prepared a variety of outcomes, including the possibility that Chief Justice John Roberts would be able to broker some sort of compromise that would at least partially leave Roe intact. But the decision to gut the ruling was always viewed as the most likely. The West Wing staff began having multiple meetings a week to try to game plan a response, recognizing that such a decision would set off a political firestorm, one filled with both peril and opportunity for Biden. This is from Politico. So, ladies and gentlemen, now this is a thing that I want to bring out right here. Joe Biden went ahead and put the speech together right after this decision, which I'm happy. This decision should have happened because the law, like I said, there was no constitutional ground for Roe. None whatsoever. Roe v. Wade had no constitutional grounds. The Supreme Court back in 1973, I don't know what they were thinking. They probably were left-leaning, God-hating people that passed the law, but we're going to leave that for another day. But it's kind of funny, ladies and gentlemen, the life of the slaying of innocent children, the slaying of life is more important to the president of the United States, backwards Joe, than inflation, than gas prices, or anything of that nature. Oh, Isaac, why you say that? Because look at it, ladies and gentlemen. He came out and he went ahead and called, and he's calling for Congress to act. Hey, you need to go ahead and pass abortion rights now. It's right now. This is the most important thing in the world right now. But ladies and gentlemen, this nation has been suffering for months, and he always says, this is my top priority. That's my top priority. That's my top priority. But ladies and gentlemen, this shows me what is this president's top priority. Apparently, he's not really that worried about inflation because inflation has not gone down yet. He's really not worried about gas prices reaching almost $5 or over $5 a gallon across the country. He's not worried about how shelves are not being filled with supply chain problems. My wife went to the store the other day and she bought like 3 or 4 bags of groceries at the local Walmart, and it cost us almost $200, ladies and gentlemen. Where back in the day when I was growing up, that was a whole basket, maybe 2. The shelves are full. But now that Roe versus Wade is gone, this is my top priority. Me and the White House aides are talking, and we're trying to figure out what can we do. What can we do to go ahead and stop these conservative Christians that are stopping Roe versus Wade, stopping the slaughter of children? That is our top priority, to give the women the rights. That's what they use it for, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, the media is not helping out either. This article from Fox News: Supreme Court overruling Roe v. Wade sparks supreme meltdown from liberal journals. The end of v. Roe com with the okay. Let me go ahead and find MSNBC anchor Joy Reid slammed the decision, tweeting, "Sharda, the Supreme Court Christianity. Women have no right. The states are bound to respect. Get pregnant even against your will, and you become state property." Washington Post columnist Jennifer Rubin wrote, "Really? 5-4? Put a pin in it, Robert's currents for the most sweeping radical withdrawal of rights. A full attack on the 14th Amendment. Beyond words. Beyond reason." S with a hit behind it. Liberal journalist Mary Jong Fast tweeted, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the issue right here. Before I move on, because we're going to talk about some more of politicians inciting violence in an insurrection that happened in the state of Arizona. We're about to get to that. But ladies and gentlemen, why is this decision hitting the left so hard? Because, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not talking about the person on your average streets that is a Democrat. I think a lot of the American people that are Democrat are just deceived. But I honestly think that the politicians and people in leadership have to be demonically influenced. To take the life of a child is just... It's just, you know, it's one of the worst things in the nation. It's the worst thing. A woman, and look, I'm not gonna slam a woman for an abortion because, like I said, you might be deceived or some circumstance. I understand it's still wrong. I'm not sugarcoating it. Abortions are wrong. But ladies and gentlemen, to use for the left to go ahead and use it like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says women will die and many children already in poverty. Oh, we got to continue abortion because kids are going to live in poverty and you don't want them to go through that. So the other option is to kill the child and women are going to die. I hate to say it, and I pray for people that has happened to. There's women that die in childbirth and if there's complications with abortion, they can do that. Ladies and gentlemen, this decision and this policy will kill people no matter what their spin and what their talking points are. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said that on MSNBC Meet the Press. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, to use it as, this is protecting women and this is stopping children from being in poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how you can spin this. I'm going to close out this segment with this. I'm glad Roe versus Wade got overturned, spiritually and constitutionally. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there was no constitutional right for a woman to go ahead and abort her child. On that note, I'll be right back after this short break. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching.
Hayes' dump truck service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' dump truck service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I went in with this episode really wanted to praise the Supreme Court Justice, Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, Samuel Alito, and Justice Clarence Thomas. Because, look, I've been reading about the president. The president has been slamming them. AOC has been slamming them. There is the woke media. Roe versus Wade ruling sees MSNBC, CNN, and many more go full stretch earth. CNN, Civil War. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to this. This decision right here was the greatest decision. And look, these five justices, I believe the decision was 6-4, 6-3. But I think Judge Robertson concluded himself, or he wrote a certain opinion, whatever. So 5-4, 6-3, whatever. It has happened. And I believe it was 6-4. Let me go check. I believe it's 6-4. That's what I saw. Yeah, no, 6-3. 6-3 decision. Justice Roberts changed his mind. So we can throw him in the mix as well. I don't know why they said 5-4 in that tweet. There's I'm at the left, don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, these 6 judges did something very courageous. They stood for life to begin with, but they stood for what the Constitution says. And at the end of the day, they did their job. So all these people that are out here, they need to overturn, or they were trying to persuade them not to overturn Roe versus Wade. I think they did their job. And you know what? We're going to talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. RGB, GB, whatever. Ginsburg said this in one of her opinions when it came up for an abortion bill. She said, we need to be careful with Roe, because Roe is so flimsy in his argument that one day there will be overturned. And look, if you're giving credit to where credit due, let's give credit to Donald J. Trump, because Donald Trump went ahead and put Amy Coney Barrett after Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, RBG. He put in Neil Gorsuch, and he put in Brett Kavanaugh. That is the deciding factor right there. And also, and look, I don't like Mitch McConnell, but I've been hearing a lot of people praise him for this, because Mitch McConnell gave Donald Trump the judge list. And Donald Trump looked him over well. And that's one thing Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump did well. They went and they put conservative judges in these places. And I know majority of conservatives are pro-life. I understand that. But a lot of conservatives lean to the original intent of our founding fathers. And ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court did right by not allowing Roe versus Wade to continue, because there is no precedent or in history of abortion until the 1900s. Our country was, like I said, I said that in the first segment, our founding fathers never thought that a mother or a couple would say, hey, let's abort a child because it's going to mess up our career, or it's going to mess up our love life, or it's going to, the founding fathers never thought of that. That's why they didn't put this provision in the Constitution, because they didn't think about it. Same thing with the gay rights issue. I don't think the founding fathers ever thought that 2 men would want to marry each other, or 2 women would want to marry each other. They just never thought of that. That's why they didn't have to define what marriage was in the Constitution. So let's go ahead and continue talking about the post Roe world we're living in right now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring you up to some history. And this is what I just can't stand the left a lot of times. And also some rhino Republicans. For the past 2 weeks, since the January 6th committee went prime time, and trying to prove that Donald Trump caused the insurrection. He incited violence when he was talking on that stage on January 6th. He went ahead and he pressured people and that's on a side note. They're saying Donald Trump pressured people to do what he wanted. Hasn't all politicians have done that sometime before? Oh no, not us. But that's beside the point. That's for another story, another day. But we've been spending for the past 2 weeks, and like I said, they're trying to bring up that Donald Trump incited violence, and because of Donald Trump's actions, they went ahead. These individuals stormed the Capitol to try to overthrow the government. That was all done by Donald Trump. One man word does matter. That's according to the left. But can I tell you something after this court decision of Roe versus Wade? What some Democrats were saying? Now, I don't have the audio, but I do have their words. This is from the Daily Caller. The hell with the Supreme Court. Maxine Waters vows to defy the Supreme Court of the United States. Democrat California Representative Maxine Waters vowed on Friday to defy the Supreme Court after it ruled Friday to overturn Roe versus Wade. Speaking outside the High Court, Waters said the turnout outside the Supreme Court would grow larger. Now, this is the thing. There was pro-life and pro-choice, but she lumped all them people in there to say that was her cause. You see this turnout here? You ain't seen nothing yet. Women are going to control their bodies no matter how they try to stop us. The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them. Women will be in control of their bodies. If they think black women are afraid, they got another thing coming, Waters said. Okay, first off, she said hell with the Supreme Court. She also said that, now I like how she tried to throw racism in there. If she thinks black women are intimidated. It's just not black women that can get abortions in this country. Well, part of this country. It's white women, it's Asian women, it's whatever your race or your gender, well, according to them, their gender, because they believe men could get pregnant too. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But listen to her words, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't seen nothing yet. There's no matter how you're gonna try to stop us, we will defy them. Like, we're gonna do it anyway. And listen to this. They got another thing coming. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't that inciting violence? There ain't nothing wrong with... No, the reason I say that, too, is because Maxine Waters talking like this. Don't you remember when Donald Trump was in the White House and before the White House, when he said, hey, fight like hell? When he also said, that was a figure... he's inciting violence. He's telling people to go hit people and hurt them and all that. But when they do it, it's speaking of free choice and free will. And expressing your First Amendment right of free speech. See, so according to the left, this isn't inciting violence, ladies and gentlemen. But it sounds like it's inciting violence to me. Now, we're going to talk about my least favorite person in politics is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller. That last article, correction, ladies. Yeah, the Daily Caller. Oh, so it's from the Daily Caller. I thought it was from the Daily Beast. This is coming from the Daily Caller as well. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez attempts to incite people into the streets outside the Supreme Court. Listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She goes ahead and she goes and chant. Let me see where. Told her. Hold on. I'm trying to find her words. Yeah, a video shared on Twitter shows Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez chanting loudly to the Supreme Court's 6-3 overturned landmark 1973 decision was illegitimate, and that America, excuse me, should get to the streets. What she's talking about? Is she talking about a peaceful protest, or is she talking about the summer of 2020? A repeat of the summer of 2020. When people said they're going to take to the streets, and just not take to the streets, they were going to riot and pillage big cities like Seattle, Chicago, New York. All over this country, they had riots. So isn't that inciting violence? But see, they want to, but ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the left can say Donald Trump incited violence by saying fight like hell. But them saying getting into the streets, that's a whole nother thing. Now Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez probably spin this off for Reddit that that's peaceful protests. Oh, hold on, correction. In their words, mostly peaceful protests. Because CNN might show a building burning down, but they'd say it's still mostly peaceful. Also, on the decision of Roe versus Wade, there was, this is from CNN, where it says, tear gas used to disperse protesters outside of Arizona's Capitol building, officials say. So that night, they started having protests all over the nation. Similar demonstrations are planned across the country over the weekend, according to CNN research. Organizers like Planned Parenthood, Band of Our Bodies, and Women's March are amongst the groups. Late Friday, law enforcement officers in Arizona used tear gas to disperse a crowd of abortion rights supporters protesting outside the state capital of Phoenix. Now, this is the thing. Let me finish reading. Troopers deployed tear gas after a crowd of protesters repeatedly pounded on the glass doors of the state Senate building. Arizona Department of Public Safety spokesman Brett Graves told CNN the crowd then moved across the street to the Wesley Bernard Plaza, where police used tear gas after a monument was violated, Graves said. So, ladies and gentlemen, now because of this decision, we've had another insurrection. It wasn't the Capitol, but it was the state capital of Arizona. Can I keep on going, ladies? I'm just going to give you some examples, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this. This comes from Fox News. Pro-choice protesters burn American flags in the streets of Washington, D.C. after Roe versus Wade reversal. Pro-choice protesters in Washington, D.C. burned an American flag on Friday night following the Supreme Court decision which reverses Roe v. Wade. Protesters burned the American flag near the intersection of D South Northwest and 7th South SW in Washington on Friday night. One sign that was next to the burning flag read FMPD. Another reads F. U. Thompson, Alito, Coney Barrett, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Roberts. Now, this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She told them to go in the streets. She also told Maxine Waters said you haven't seen anything yet coming. Now, if we go according to the left's thinking of an insurrection, then you can go ahead and talk about this, because the left's terms of inciting violence and having an insurrection is that a politician telling people to do something and they misunderstand it and they go ahead and take it to the extreme. Well, Maxine Waters and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said things that incited violence, in my humble opinion. Now, the left isn't just using this. They're not using this as fear tactics, as I talked about earlier, when they say women are going to die. They're not using the bully pulpit. They are also using this as a way to get votes. This comes from Fox News. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is on this note. This is why the president and so many other politicians hurry up and got to Twitter and made a statement and how this is bad. Because even President Biden even said that on national television, that the fall is going to change the election. The election is the most important thing right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of funny. Right before the midterms, you had this bill passed, which I'm glad the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, but also you have shootings. So now the Democrats have something to run on. It's abortion and gun control, which we're going to talk about gun control in the third segment, because there's another Supreme Court decision that came out that was really that protected our Second Amendment right. We're going to get to that in the third segment. But listen to this. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat California, told party members Friday that the future of the democracy agenda to preserve abortion rights and restrict guns, remember I just said that as their two go-to right now, the subject of two landmark Supreme Court rulings this week will depend on the midterm election. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's saying, hey, if you want those things reversed, vote for the Democrats, because we're going to go ahead and take care of the Supreme Court. Over the last 2 days, the Supreme Court had influenced diversity on our nation. Diversity on our nation, flooding our public spaces with more deadly weapons and erasing women's fundamental rights to make their own reproductive health decision, Pelosi wrote in a letter to Democrat House members. The Supreme Court decision, Dowd versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, Friday overturned Roe v. Wade in its nearly 50 years preceding protection abortion as a constitutional right. On Thursday, Supreme Court ruled that New York City ban on concealed carry permits were unconstitutional. We're going to get to that in the next segment. But ladies and gentlemen, now the Democrats are starting to use this as political gain. And ladies and gentlemen, this is all this is about, to be honest with you. I don't think they cared two diddly squats about a woman or her baby. But ladies and gentlemen, now they're telling people, hey, if you want to go ahead, we're going to stop the Supreme Court. But you need to vote for us in November. You need to go ahead and vote against the Republican, vote for us in December so we can overturn this. Now, I mentioned it earlier when Biden said that he already has plans. I don't know what he means by that. What he thinks he could do as the president of the United States to go ahead and change laws. But ladies and gentlemen, the only way I see this coming back is if it's through the House of Representatives. And listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I tell people, go vote. Go vote. Because the left is not going to stop. This fight has just begun. We're happy that this decision has come down. But I'm showing you right here, and I said this on past programs, that the left will use violence to get what they want. And they're trying to bully the American people into giving them what they want. This is a fight. This is not spiritually, but politically. And look, like I said, the left ain't going to stop. So we don't need to stop. But this, going back to my point, and I'm going to wrap it up for this segment. You need to go vote. You, as an American citizen, need to go vote. And don't vote Democrat, because we see how they are. And look, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, they're using this as a political stunt right now to get elected. I don't think people are more worried. Look, this is a landmark decision. Pro-life centers are happy. And look, even today I heard with all this, there's pro-life centers that are going to attack. So please keep them in prayer. This is a great decision, ladies and gentlemen. And it is important right now. But I don't think people are going to vote on this in the midterms. I think they have a lot more bigger fish to fry than this right here. And that's my personal opinion on that. I'll be right back after this short break.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all in one word, the Scott Ford Show, and it's on Rumble. And I also have a motivational success show on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell. That would mean a lot to me. Enjoy your life. Thank you, Isaac. God bless.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. So, as I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, the left is using this as a political tactic right now. And like I said, there's a lot more bigger fish to fry than abortion. And I'm not, please don't take me wrong. I'm not saying that that's not important, because it is important. But ladies and gentlemen, look, this right here, look, I'm going to quote Jesse Waters from Fox News, said this was a victory for the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, for years, and listen to me, for years, the left used the Supreme Court to pass their agendas. They're doing it here in Louisiana, ladies and gentlemen. Shelley Dick, the judge for the federal judge in Louisiana, told our state legislators, I don't like the map because you did not put another minority district. So I'm going to go ahead and revoke it, and you got to draw me a new map. She said that, draw me a new map. Now, in the state of Louisiana, we have a lot of people. I don't know the exact number, but we have a lot of people in Louisiana that voted representatives in to the state legislation to make sure that we were mostly Republican. Now we have we have a majority in the House and almost a majority in the Senate in Louisiana. But one judge said, I don't like it. So I'm going to defy all the citizens of Louisiana, and I want you to draw me a new map. Now, it's in the court systems and all that, and I've been talking about it briefly. I need to do a segment on that, because you might be listening all over the country not knowing what's happening. It was an Obama-appointed judge. She says she's bipartisan, but wanted to take that. Now, one judge. Now, this is one judge. But for years, now bringing this back to the country, for years, the Democrat Party could not get something done in the House and the Senate. They would sue somebody. It would go to the Supreme Court. And because not that long ago, the court was more left than right, would get everything passed. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2015, when the court defied what was marriage, or said that the Constitution does not defy marriage. So guess what? You can marry whatever you want, whenever you want, and however you want. And it went ahead and cleared the way for same-sex marriages here in the United States of America. That court was more left than right. And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, that was the only way the left could get that agenda passed, was by the Supreme Court. So now, as I just talked about, they're telling people to go to the streets and riot and rage and everything of that nature. The right didn't do that back when same-sex marriage was declared constitutional. You never heard of a Republican going on the streets and threatening Supreme Court justices? You didn't hear that, didn't you? That was only 7 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2015 when the same-sex marriage case came up and the opinion dropped. You don't, and that normally happens, ladies and gentlemen. If something goes against our favor as the Republicans or the conservatives, we took a loss. We're going to find a way to get around it, and let's go forward. But the Democrats never do that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Clarence Thomas did write, I think it's an opinion or something. Let me see. This is from the Daily Wire. Correct the errors. Clarence Thompson says Supreme Court of the United States should reconsider decisions on contraceptions and same-sex marriage. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thompson said Friday that the High Court should reconsider early decisions finding constitutional rights to conceptions and same-sex relationships through controversial legal theories. Thomas ruled with the majority on Friday in Dowds versus Jackson's Women's Health Organization, a highly expected decision that overturned the 1973 decision in Roe versus Wade, which codified the right to an abortion in a federal law. The same legal theories that support the right to an abortion in Roe was also used in a handful of other cases that justify rights discovered through substance due process. Now, Thomas wrote a concurrence to Justice Alito's majority opinion that we should consider all the court's substance due process proceedings, including Groswin, Lawrence, and Arbitchfield. Those are cases that, and look, Thomas is right on this. He said, we have the duty to correct the error established in these proceedings. He continued, after overruling these disabling erroneous decisions, the question will remain whether other constitutional provisions granted by the merit rights that own substance due process case has been granted. So, ladies and gentlemen, and look, this is what a judge is supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. A judge is supposed to go ahead and look at all the cases, look at all the facts, and compare them to the Constitution and say yes and no. It is constitutional or not constitutional, not just for due process or just simply on merit, or just to say it feels good. And look, ladies and gentlemen, Clarence Thomas, he's the longest-serving Supreme Court justice on the bench right now. He's been fighting for this for years, ladies and gentlemen. He's been saying that it is not just because he's pro-life. He's been saying that the court has been used politically to pass political agendas. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we let's see what happens. I don't know what they're going to do with same-sex marriages, contraceptions, and all that. We're going to have to see what happens. Also in the Supreme Court this week, like I said, this whole video is a Supreme Court wrap-up of what happened this week. Look, this week, ladies and gentlemen, the last 2 days of this week, Thursday and Friday, I say last 2 days, with the weekend right now, and it's also going to be the Monday when this drops. So last Thursday and last Friday, man, ladies and gentlemen, I've had so much opinions because there these two decisions, and look, there's a decision I'm hoping that drops after this video's release of a high school coach that was arrested for praying on the 50-yard line. I hope that comes out this week. But there was another decision that happened last Thursday. And it says Supreme Court shoots down New York rule that sets high bar for concealed handgun licenses. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, there it is. The Supreme Court Thursday ruled 6-3 that New York regulations that made it difficult to obtain a license to conceal carry handguns were unconstitutionally restricted, and that it should be easier to obtain such a license. The existing standard requires an application to show proper cause for seeking a license and allowing New York officials to execute discrimination in determining whether a person shows a good enough reason for needing a right to carry a firearm, stating that one wish to protect themselves or their property was not enough. Now, Clarence Thompson went ahead and wrote the opinion on this, and he went ahead. Law-abiding citizens have similar rights to carry handguns publicly for their self-defense. We too agree and now hold consists with Heller and McDonald that the Second and 14th Amendment protects a individual right to carry a handgun for self-defense outside the home. This was Clarence Thomas wrote in his opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a win for the Second Amendment, because New York was telling people, listen to this, they were telling people, hey, you have to have a cause for carrying a concealed handgun. Now, Hochul, the governor of New York, she took over Slimy Como position. Kathy Hochul angrily responded to the Supreme Court ruling overturning her state gun laws that require individuals to show proper cause to obtain a concealed carry permit in Thursday's address. The case, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Keith Carlin. Let me go ahead and get to her response because Hutchell, however her name is, blasted the decision of the politicized Supreme Court that New York must the state that the regulation in consist with with this national history and tradition of firearm regulation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to stop right there because I want to break her down. There was no really firearm regulations until the 1900s. See, a lot of people think from the Civil War, or not even the Civil War, after the founding fathers wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States, and they wrote down that the Second Amendment, that you should have a firearm and that no right shall be infringed and all that good stuff. After they wrote that, they all of a sudden thought, oh, this is in our state, this is in our country's constitution. Let's limit it how many handguns everyone can have, please. Oh, and they can't have a semi-automatic rifle, or they can't. Because she even says that back when the Second Amendment was written, they were using muskets. We can go back to muskets. Ladies and gentlemen, really? The founding fathers never had a limit on the. It's the same thing. It's the same bull that backwards Joe says. Not everyone in the Constitution could own a cannon. Show me that in the Constitution. We're not powerless in the situation. We're not going to concede our rights that easily despise the best efforts to politicize the Supreme Court of the United States. She began. No longer will we strike a balance, absolutely shocking that they have taken away our rights and our responsible restrictions. We can't have restrictions on speech. Y'all can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but somehow there's no restriction allowed on the Second Amendment. This is New York. We won't back down. We won't fight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a whole different topic, but look, she's inciting violence. She said, we're going to fight back. I'm just being honest, ladies and gentlemen. She also said on, I believe this was CBS, Good Morning, the CBS Morning, the governor of New York, the right to carry outside the homes makes individuals feel unsafe and seem to incite it should not, and to insinuate it should not be allowed. Every American recognizes that there is a problem with gun violence, and the people who cheer this want to say what they see. Look, there is a problem with gun violence, and I, as a law-abiding citizen, want to be able to hold a gun to my person so that I feel safer. What do you think to that individual? The host asks the governor. The Second Amendment. And she goes ahead and she says, I say that makes everyone else feel unsafe. We don't know if you're provoked. You know you're in a bar and someone looks at your girlfriend and your boyfriend the wrong way. There are so many triggers. If someone wants to have a legal gun license protection in their home, that is their domain. They can do that. We've always allowed that, or for hunting and other purposes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen to her speech. She said that it makes people very unsafe, and that anybody can be triggered by a gun. You know, somebody looks at their girlfriend wrong, they could be a trigger. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to bring a point about this governor right here. Does she think all gun owners are stupid? Or that we are like Wyatt Earp at the OK Corral? Where are we going to go ahead and just start shooting up people because they looked at our girlfriend wrong? Or they said something wrong to me? And this is what I don't like about the left, ladies and gentlemen. Look, you know how she said they're gonna fight back, they're gonna use all their political influences and all this stuff. Ladies and they think we're stupid to begin with, like I just said. But it's kind of funny that it's okay for them to defy the Supreme Court and to defy laws that the Republicans try to enforce, but we have to be like little puppies and follow along. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. But look, that's when I first read that. It's like, ma'am, do you think we're that stupid? That law-abiding citizens are going to go ahead and just be like the OK Corral? You know, if that's the case, there'll be shootings all the time in Florida of people dueling. Oh, the state of Louisiana, we have open carry and we have concealed carry. Now, we have to get a license. But you don't hear, now you hear of shootings, but it's all done by criminals that don't care about the law. But ladies and gentlemen, when I heard this, I'm like, ma'am, do you think that you make us stupid? You make us look stupid. And in reality, she's stupid because it's been proven by statistics that people that carry more guns have lower crimes. Because in her own city that has used to have some of the strict gun laws, has a high ticket crime. Just think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Just think. Now, with this decision, it came with a blow. Let's just say it like this. Because, yes, the Supreme Court tells us you have the right to bear arms. You have the right, excuse me, to go ahead and protect yourself. But this happened the same day. On the 23rd of June 2022. The Senate passed a bipartisan Safety Commission Act on Thursday night, the most significant piece of gun legislation declared the upper chamber since the 1994 assault weapons ban. The legislation negotiated by 10 Democrats and 10 Republicans, including incentives for states to pass red flag laws, increase funding for mental health services, amongst other provisions. Senator Texas John Cornyn spearheaded the legislation in the aftermath of the mass shooting at the Buffalo, New York supermarket and Uvalde, Texas elementary school. 15 Republicans, including Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, joined all 50 Democrats in voting for the bill. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So on the day that the Supreme Court passed, or the Supreme Court handed down a decision saying, yes, you have the right to protect yourself, the Democrats and 15 Republicans, Blunt, Bear, Captain, Cassidy, my senator, unfortunately, Collins, Cornett, Ernest, Graham, McConnell, Monk, Portman, Romney, Tillis, Thomas, Toomey, and Young, all the normal rhinos with a few exceptions, voted to go ahead and take away some of your Second Amendment rights. The same day, ladies and gentlemen, I wonder if that was by coincidence. I wonder if the Senate was thinking. Now, that Saturday, the House of Representatives, within 2 hours, passed it, and it went onto onto the president's desk, and this is according to CNN Politics. Biden signed bipartisan gun safety bill into law. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but the Senate should have went ahead and just, hold on. The Supreme Court just said it was okay to defend ourselves. The Supreme Court just said that we have the right to carry our guns outside the homes. And instead of these Republicans saying, hold on, the Supreme Court just said that, let's relook at this issue a little bit. No. You know what they did to the Supreme Court? They say, hey, look, shove it. We're going to pass whatever we want. Heck on the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution of the United States says that our rights would not be infringed. And that's why the Supreme Court held up and affirmed the constitutional right that you can carry your gun outside your home. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to... Look, there's going to be more Supreme Court cases of the Second Amendment. I promise you. You know why? Because the governor of California, the governor of New York, and yes, even some of our own Republican leadership are going to try to take away your gun rights. No, we're not trying to take away. Well, you remember my story a couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen. John Cornyn was booed. Yes, he was booed. And people in his state were saying, stop trying to take our gun rights. Did he listen? No, he did it anyway. Because, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, there's people that want power in this nation. Now, look, thank God for the Supreme Court. Because on this whole, the 2/3 of this episode was about Roe V Wade being overturned. Thank God it did. And thank God that we had a president that put pro-life conservatives and constitutionalists on the Supreme Court. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they might own the House, they might own the Senate, and they might own the presidency. But the left does not own the Supreme Court. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this was divine. Trump might not be in there, but guess what? Because of Trump's leadership, God used it to stop abortion. And also, we can have our rights to protect ourselves as a free nation. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and close that out tonight. I want to thank you for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. If this is your first time again, please remember to hit the subscribe button and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Truth Social, and on Twitter. Remember, Jesus Christ is coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. Until next time, you be blessed. Bye-bye.
He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open